There's a few questions in here that you're asking. It's not just one question, so let me go over that. But also, let's go one step further and say, what's to stop governments from creating CBDCs or central bank digital currencies with the technology XRP or any other blockchain type of technology? The answer is nothing, but you have to kind of think about this in terms of timelines. First, you will see places like JP Morgan Chase, which they already done it. They're creating their own coin, their own stable coin, their own coin for their own platform, their own ledger, their own blockchains. They're all doing that. So every organization is going to have their own coin and their own blockchain. XRP creates the interoperability between all of those. You're not going to find a bank doing the interoperability between them and another bank. That's not going to happen. What you will see is XRP being used for that, but then also going from like dollars to real estate in 3 seconds, which includes all the title work. It's all going to be built in to the smart contract, the exchange, all that's what XRP does. But let's talk about governments and CBDCs, because XRP and other blockchains, you can do this with XLM, you can do this with a number of cryptocurrencies. You can create a central bank digital currency. They're probably going to be necessary at some point. Let me explain why. There's a part of the population, a large part of the population, that prefers to stay asleep, that prefers to stay on the government, whatever the government tells them. There's just going to be this portion of the population that doesn't see this coming. So when they reset the currency and these paper dollars are no longer what they're worth or even being used anymore, and they're replaced with something, they're going to need something to give people. Just the fact. If you've seen the movie Ready Player One, you can see where the world is going. You can kind of see it. People that are not paying attention, but also younger generations that are really not paying attention, that are lost in their trauma, they're figuring out who they are, they're missing this boat. They're going to have to still function in society somehow. So there's going to be a currency that's issued by the government. There's no getting around it, because if they're not paying attention, they don't buy the raw assets up front. You're making your choice to not pay attention. That's number one. But if you are seeing it and you're still not buying, you're still making a choice. You're securing your sovereignty by buying these things, because the world is going to a place where everything's driven by AI. Everybody's going to be working from home. They're going to be stuck in the virtual world. They're going to get their coins. They're going to get their money. They're going to get their food deliveries, and they're never going to leave their house. That's part of the population. But also there are parts of the world where currency really doesn't exist. So they're trying to move more people in the world into banking. So there will be these forms of currencies that are built on sovereign assets that the countries actually own, so that their people can actually have, oh my God, they can have some currency for the first time. So it's really just a window of opportunity that some people will choose to crawl through and some people won't. If you don't crawl through it, the window's going to slam shut forever and you're going to be stuck inside. Probably have about 10-15 years before all the boomers are gone and the cash. Might not take that long.